Alright, hello everybody, welcome to the Podrace. We are back with another episode. We're going to talk about a few things today. We're going to start off with Wonder Man, and then go into some other recent topics that have come to light. But we also just want to say, you can see this video is being posted on a Saturday. We're going to try and start throwing in some more Saturday uploads. We've been doing Wednesdays so far, but we're going to try and throw in a second video every week. These may be shorter videos, maybe more recent topics in the news, but we just want to try and get more out there for you guys, so we're going to do Saturday uploads from now on. As well, or at least try to. So we got one here today. We'll start off with Wonder Man. Wonder Man dropped last night, actually. We both watched all 8 episodes this morning. We both have our thoughts. I think we're sort of on similar pages with the show. I guess I'll start it off on Wonder Man,
Sure.
and then I'll let you dive into it. I like the show. I think it's fun. I don't think I'd ever rewatch it, though. It's not something that I'm ever gonna, I don't think, race to go back and watch. The show, for me, and again, I like it, but I think I view it the same way I view Andor, and if you're a Star Wars fan and you've seen Andor, there's very strong opinions about the show. People love it, but there's people that hate it, and I'm not a fan of it. But the way I feel about both of these shows, that they are stories that just so happen to take place in their universes, and to me this feels like a show about 2 actors trying to make their way into Hollywood, and they just so happen to be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I think his powers are almost like a minute issue in the show, and you could replace his powers with something else, like a criminal record or a history of himself, and it would create the same dynamic where he cannot be found or discovered for whatever reason it may be. But I liked the lead. I liked that they brought is it Trevor Slattery? Is that his name?
Yeah, Ben Kingsley back.
Yes,
he's great in the show. I think
he is.
I don't want to.
No, you're good. I was just gonna say they're both really good. I was gonna say he's really good in the show. That connection they built between the two is very good. Again, I like it. But if you're looking for flashy Marvel fighting, superpowers, stuff like that, that's not the show for you.
There's only like one fight scene, and it's barely a fight scene.
I mean, I'll have more to say about the show as the conversation goes, but I'll let you get your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I think like you were connecting into Andor. It's kind of more like a Moon Knight show for the MCU. Like, I don't think Moon Knight's ever reappearing. Especially, I don't think Oscar Isaac even wants to work with Disney anymore. But even without that, I don't think Moon Knight was going to appear again outside of his show. I don't see how Wonder Man is going. His powers are like extreme. Like, he's extremely powerful.
Yeah, like he's Avengers level.
Yeah,
strong. Yeah,
but it doesn't seem like the like agencies going at, like, the damage control is going after him, because if you have superpowers you can't be an actor, because there's this character they introduce and waste a whole episode on also, the Doorman.
That was I'll get into that.
I mean, spoiler warning, we don't have to go crazy into spoilers, but I'll give the spoiler warning here for the Doorman. Superheroes can't act in Hollywood anymore because Doorman eats Josh Gad, basically, and pukes him out.
My issue with that is, like, in the one episode before, and this isn't really a spoiler, he goes for an audition, the guy makes him sign the Doorman Clause, which is basically a protection that superheroes can't act for what you just said, and then they spend a whole episode explaining that, and then they never go back to it. And, like, if they had gone back at the ending, and this is a spoiler, I guess we're just going to talk spoilers here, but, because this is going to be out on Saturday at that point, and so people will probably have seen it if they care about Wonder Man. But if you were going to go back to the Josh Gad thing and explain maybe what happened to him, or if he ever came back, I get doing a full episode. But to not touch it again and spend a whole episode just to explain why a clause exists was kind of dumb, in my opinion.
It could have just been like a 5-minute cutaway of explaining his power, and then the scene where Josh Gad gets swallowed whole by his stomach and puked out.
Yeah.
And so, and it's also in the meat of the series, like you kind of said, like,
it's dead center.
Even then they did it I don't understand why you would release a whole season at 9 p.m. We're on the East Coast at 9 p.m. Even though they're 30-minute episodes. Like, I'm not staying up till 2 a.m. just watching Wonder Man. But if these were weekly episodes and the 4th episode was literally on Doorman, I probably would have stopped watching right there. Like, I would not have watched past that point and waited another week. Yeah.
This would have been rough if it was a weekly release. That's probably why they did it in one shot.
I think they kind of could have done like 6 episodes. There's kind of a lot of side stories that happen that don't really need to happen. But I do think the relationship between Simon and... why is his name blanking on
Simon and Trevor Slattery.
Yeah, Trevor is great. I do like the real life TV shows and actors that do kind of appear on the show, just to kind of give like the Hollywood world more reality to it. Mm-hmm. But the way it ends, again, spoiler, like Wonder Man breaks Trevor out of jail, and he can fly, which is kind of crazy too. But other than that, I don't see where you go with it next, other than Wonder Man. But I mean, Damage Control kind of hints that they might use him like for themselves. So
yeah, I think it's a shame because it's a character with really cool powers that I would have liked to see on display more. Yeah, you only see his powers 3 times in the series. There's the one. I mean, he has a couple.
It's like kind of like 5. I would say like 5. You have one where he's alone.
There's like
in his
3
apartment.
like true like displays, and then there's like a bunch of minor instances.
Yeah. His powers are basically like anger issues, and when he like lets the anger get to him, he's got
ionic energy.
Yeah,
and so everything around, it's like basically he creates like an earthquake around him.
Yeah,
which would be like, I think that's like, maybe I'm stretching it here, but off of a little bit of research, like those are like, I feel like that's strong enough to be like an asset against Doom, and it feels like introducing this character before Doomsday and not using him is a missed opportunity. But the show kept it so grounded, and nobody knows about his powers, that there's no reason for him to be involved in anything else outside. Like, if he... Okay, there's a scene that we both thought was hilarious, and it turned out to be retconned immediately in the show.
The dream?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's, like, auditioning for Wonder Man, and the guy who he's, like, auditioning with, the script keeps calling him a freak, and he literally just punches a hole through his face. And I was like, holy shit.
That scene... Yeah, and everybody realizes this dude's strong as hell, and he has these powers, and all of a sudden he's a threat. Like, now there's a reason for him to be involved with the Avengers and have some type of redemption and all that. But, I mean...
Yeah, I don't know if he'd be in the Avengers after, like, smashing some dude's face, but...
I mean, he probably would be an asset to fight Doom.
Well, my thing is, with the Doomsday, like, who would even recruit him? Sam Wilson, maybe? Like, he'd figure it, like...
Somebody,
Tony finding... Peter in Civil War makes a lot of sense for Tony. Yeah. There's not really anybody in the MCU right now that I could be like, oh, they could track this person down. They would have to be Sam.
The Mandarin would have to be your connection to somebody that he knows, but regardless, he's probably not going to be seen in anything anytime soon. It's it's a fun series. It's good. It definitely drags itself out a bit, but
I'm just glad they're 30-minute episodes.
Yeah,
they're pretty short and sweet. They're not.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. Do you have anything else to add? Because it's good, but I'm not racing to see it again, and I wouldn't be begging for a second season. Or
I would say like it's worth a watch. I think it's one of the more fun MCU projects I've seen. Like, especially the TV shows. It's one of the better ones because they haven't really released many great ones lately. I give it like a 7 out of 10. Like you said, I don't know if I'm gonna go rewatch it anytime soon. But I do think there's certain episodes in it that I think are really great, and other ones are kind of just there. So I'll give it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, it's one of those where I think like the writer and director had a passion and a vision for this character and the story, and they got the opportunity to do it and did it well. And it may not be like peak Marvel or what you would expect, but it's quality. So
yeah. Something else also came out this week, the Maul trailer. You want to talk about that a little bit? I know.
Yeah.
I think I think it looks. The animation looks great.
Yeah.
The animation looks great. I think the trailer for Maul trailer has me more excited for that than the Mando and Grogu trailer. That is literally like Sigourney Weaver not letting Grogu eat space nuts on the that's like the biggest moment of the trailer. So I'm excited for Maul. I'm happy the character's like coming back yet again and basically resurrected yet again. But I think it'll be good. I just like that it's animated. Like I feel like the animated Star Wars shows tend to be more consistently great. I'll say.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that it's Darth Maul and Sam Witwer is at like the core of this project, and like you know who that is, obviously, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean the fact that Sam Witwer is at the core of the project to me is like the most enlightening thing and most relieving thing, because I know he probably knows and cares more about the IP than anybody they have in the building, even Filoni, and so that to me is relieving, and I'm very happy about that. The fact that a character with 10 lines and a few minutes of screen time in one movie gets resurrected, and he might be the most complex character in all of Star Wars right now. Like, it's insane what they've done with him in the last 12 years or so since he came back. I love it. And so I'm very excited for this. There's a few things in the trailer, and we have a post on the Instagram with things you might have missed in the trailer or didn't notice.
Yeah.
You can check that out. But it shows the Pikes, which is like part of his crime syndicate, and so he's going to be like a drug lord, a crime lord. It ties into the end of Solo, which is really cool. I'm excited for that. Maybe we'll see Dryden Voss, who is played by Vision. I
think Paul Bettany.
Paul Bettany, yeah, played by him. Really cool, really good portrayal in Solo. So hopefully that travels over. There's a couple Inquisitors that are in Ahsoka and Tales of the Jedi. So this show probably predates that, or it's maybe they're resurrected, but those would be cool to see. The only other two things I would say is the Twi'lek Jedi looks really cool. She might be Darth Talon, looks like she's a former Jedi from the Order that he's going to take on as an apprentice, and she's probably going to turn to the dark side or whatever and turn into his apprentice, and that's going to be Darth Talon, who was part of George Lucas's sequel trilogy. So that'll be really cool if they do that. And follow suit on that. That would be really, really cool. The only other thing I would say, the animation looks beautiful. Obviously, the Star Destroyer scene in that trailer might have been the best looking thing in the trailer.
Yeah.
The only other thing I would say is I don't think we're going to get Vader. I would like to see Maul versus Vader, but I don't think we're going to get it. But they do mention Palpatine wanting Maul dead, and so if we do get a Palpatine cameo where he sets like an orders a hit on Maul or something like that, or he sets the Inquisitors out, like that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna get either of them, but it would be nice to see. So.
Yeah, I mean, the last thing to say, like you were talking about how it's kind of crazy how Maul had such a limited screen time, like in Phantom Menace, and see where it's gotten him with all these like resurrections, appearances, his own show. It's just hopefully they don't fumble it like they did. Like Boba Fett is the same thing. I think Boba Fett has like 3 lines in Empire Strikes Back and dies, I should say.
I will say,
Return of the Jedi.
After this show, I think the character needs to take a break. Like he already has his death in Rebels. We have him in 2 movies with quick cameo and in Phantom Menace. He's all in Clone Wars. He's gonna have this show. I think I'm tapped out on.
I think you can just do another original character. Like, I think it will be good, but Star Wars is such a vast universe that you should be easily able to recreate like another like Sith Lord or like dark side villain that doesn't have to be better than Maul, but I mean it could still be a great villain. So
there is so much expanded content for them to pull from. They could find anybody and make a compelling movie or show and put it together and put it on screens, and it would be good, but they don't want to do that, so that's their own loss. But I'm excited for it. I'm probably more excited for it than Mando and Grogu. I'm happy this is a show and not a TV or not a movie, because I think it lets them flesh out more concepts and ideas than a movie. So that's pretty much all I got on that.
Kind of staying in the Star Wars realm, this was announced a couple weeks ago, but it's still pretty relevant that in Disneyland, Galaxy's Edge, half of Galaxy's Edge is going to be transformed to the original trilogy, while really the only half that is still staying the sequels is going to be the Rise of the Resistance and Resistance camp area. And I know a lot of people have the same thoughts, but I think Disney making this move, like, they're just acknowledging how much of a failure the sequels really were, especially to, like, even, like, the general consumer.
Yeah, I think they had their time and their place. BB-8 can only sell for so long and stuff like that, and I think they're at a point now where they realize, like, your moneymaker is still the original trilogy 50 years later, and so let's brand into that for longevity. And so I think it's going back to the core of what it is. Yeah, like, I also think it's them admitting it was a failure, because if those were hits, you wouldn't need to do this. So
it's just, like, I love Kylo Ren. Like, he's my favorite character of the sequels. He's not Darth Vader, no matter how much you try. Rey is not, like, marketable at all, in my opinion. I mean, Chewie still appears either way, and you have, like, R2-D2 here and there, but nothing beats Darth Vader. Like, if you ask a random person on the street, like, name a character from Star Wars, they're gonna name Darth Vader 9 times out of 10, even if they've never seen the movies.
If it's not him, it's probably Yoda or something.
Yeah, or even Luke, Leia, or Han.
Yeah, and
it's gonna be an OG trilogy character.
And I think as far as the park goes, first of all, seeing those characters walk around the park is a lot more intriguing than seeing Kylo or First Order Stormtrooper. But even just, like, in Galaxy's Edge when we went in Disney World, like, there's the cantina. How do you build a cantina and it's not Mos Eisley?
Yeah.
The cantina, like,
even
that is what you want to see.
Even though I think the cantina there, other than the Falcon itself,
cool,
is, like, the best looking thing. How, like you said, how do you not base it off of the most popular cantina in your existence?
Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong, like, everything there is beautiful, but for it not to be the right thing is the problem. So,
yeah,
I think doing that, putting Luke's X-Wing in a corner, or a TIE fighter, or an Imperial shuttle, like, giving people, like, at the end of the day, your adults are the ones that are spending the money, and so giving them something they resonate with and not the 8-year-olds, I think, is where you win.
And, I mean, you still have the sequels in their little area. Like, I think Kylo will still appear, Rey. So you still appeal to that audience. But even and you're still not throwing away your Disney IP either, because they still said, like, Ahsoka and Mando are still going to meet in the OG trilogy area. So you're still going to have your heavy hitters there and your relevant ones, but you're going to also have your nostalgic classic characters that molded your franchise into a mega multi-billion-dollar franchise with 9 main, like, movies and then multiple spin-offs.
I hope it's a reflection of, or a hint at the direction they want to go with content. Because obviously we have the Maul show, the new Mando movie, and then we have the Ryan Gosling movie, and there's a Rey trilogy apparently. But, like, outside of that, it's
Taika's like still making a movie too.
Yeah, and so that's the thing. Like, there's canceled projects, there's rumored projects, but we don't know, like, what they are. And so, hopefully, those are things that are unrelated to the sequels, that we can kind of get away from it and explore new avenues, or maybe go back to what we've already established. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely the future of Star Wars is something to talk about another time.
Yeah.
But I think this is a good step. This is a step in the right direction.
I mean, the last thing I'll say is that this is also with Kathleen Kennedy stepping down, which is
Bob
in
Iger
itself
stepped down too. I saw.
Yeah, in itself, especially the Kathleen Kennedy is a major win for the Disney brand. So hopefully, because, like, I used to love Star Wars growing up. I mean, I still do, but the Disney movies and everything has kind of just made me lose a little bit of interest in it. So hopefully this kind of revitalizes that for me.
Yeah.
Just the last thing to talk about today, and then we'll get into, you kind of have, like, a this or that. I'm kind of worried about the future of the DCU right now. I was a little, like, skeptical about it, and then Superman came out. I was like, all right, like, James Gunn might have it, like, have the goods, like, cooking.
Yeah.
And now, as time has passed, like, Supergirl, the trailer, like, it looks fun, and I'm gonna see it, but the movie itself just looks so dull. Like, like your suit is bright blue and red and yellow, and everything around you is just so like sludge, so gray, and that's just an issue with a lot of comic book movies now. But like,
I feel like this is
just
like a
don't
recent
understand.
not attitude, but like this is a recent like development for you, because I feel like a week or two ago you were like pretty high on this, and it's kind of like out of nowhere the the doubt.
Well, part of the doubt is with that is the whole Brave and the Bold situation. Andy Muschietti directing was already like a nightmare, but I have to look up her name real quick. But then you also have the writer who wrote The Flash, terrible movie, wrote Birds of Prey, terrible movie. Her name, Christina Hodson, and then she wrote Batgirl, which was so bad it didn't even get released. So what, like,
Okay.
I don't understand what James Gunn is doing. I wish Robert Pattinson Batman was just in the DCU, but it doesn't look like we're getting that, which it is what it is. But I just don't understand what you're doing. Your biggest, I think Batman's your biggest hitter,
Yeah.
like your biggest hero in your universe, and you're potentially going to fumble it with a director and a writer that, when they worked together, made arguably the worst movie. I don't think it's the worst movie, but bottom 5 movie in the DCEU. And now you're going to pair them up to write Batman, which is going to arguably make or break your whole universe. And then even the Lantern TV show, there's not any. I'm sure we'll get a Super Bowl trailer, but it just looks like a buddy cop show, and it doesn't even look like they use their powers or go in the Green Lantern suit at all. So I'm just kind of confused on the direction. The big issue with the DCEU is that they focus on movies that were irrelevant and rush things. Like Suicide Squad is the second or third movie in the DCEU, and that makes no sense at all. They rushed to Justice League. Like, you should be, even if the early MCU movies, like looking back on it, maybe quality aren't the best, they still took the time to introduce all the characters for the Avengers and set up the universe before trying to jump into these random projects like Guardians. I think Guardians was like the first project that was like not the
nowhere.
centralized characters of like Cap, Iron Man, and that's after you're already 8 to 10 movies deep. So I don't know. I'm just getting a little concerned.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know DC nearly as much as you, obviously, and I mean, for me, I look at it like Phase 1 of the MCU, like you said, like it wasn't the best, and it took time for them to establish the MCU as a quality production, continuous production. The first one had some rough movies in it, like Hulk's a little bit rough, Thor 1 is a little bit rough, Iron Man 2 is rough. I like Cap 1, obviously, and I like Iron Man, but it's
even those movies, though, like, I'm fine, like, they're good. They're not, like, I think the MCU really didn't hit its stride until like Age of Ultron, right after that is when it started to. So you still had like 7 years of trying to hit your stride, but you still introduced and had development relationships with all your central characters that you're building your universe around.
Yeah,
and I feel like the DCU is not doing that.
Well, I don't know the upcoming projects like you do, and I don't know the TV shows that have been put out, and so I can't speak to what they've done there. But from my vantage point, we got Superman, which is the first big movie in the DCU, right? Like, it's the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so great start. Supergirl, whether it's quality or not, is the next step in establishing that character who we already got hinted at the end of the first of Superman.
Yeah.
And so that's your next step. I don't know what step 3 looks like, but it's probably establishing another character, and whether that's a Batman or it's somebody else. I think that's, and then you sprinkle in TV shows like Peacemaker or this Green Lantern show you were talking about, like sprinkling those in to establish the smaller characters might benefit them as well.
I think, Green Lantern is in the various iterations like a big member of the Justice League, But like I'm fine with like Supergirl and Lanterns because like that makes sense. But then even though I'm excited for it, you have a Clayface movie. You're just even though I really like the character and I'm excited to see him in live action, he's like a B tier, C tier Batman villain.
But
You're giving him his own movie,
so
and then
so was Iron Man. So was Thor. I mean, at the time,
yeah,
like,
but
these guys were.
Iron Man, I get what you're saying, but they are the protagonists, like, of the universe, and they're the Avengers.
Okay.
Like, Clayface is not going to be in the Justice League. He might be someone they fight, if that. And, like, you have, like, a Swamp Thing show, an Amanda Waller show, Booster Gold. Like, none of these... Like, you don't even have a Wonder Woman show or movie on the way. They're trying to, like, kind of, like, quickly...
Look, I
integrate
agree.
her, but
I agree. I mean, I being worried. I see why you're worried. But like the blueprint is there for this. Like it's worked for the MCU, and like it took them 8 years to introduce Spider-Man, who's the biggest character in Marvel.
Well,
and so
to be fair, that was a Sony issue, not. And
but it still worked.
I get what you're saying. I'm just saying they couldn't do it.
Yeah,
but I do.
No, I get that. But it didn't hold them back, and when they did it, it worked. And so if it takes 5 years to introduce a Wonder Woman, like I don't think it... Unless you're trying to rush this into a 5-year cinematic universe and get it to be quality that fast, like, you're almost asking for failure at that point. But if you're willing to take this 10-year long haul and build yourself quality movies over the time, like if it takes 3 or 4 years to get Wonder Woman, like, I think it's worth waiting it out.
I don't want it to be rushed, and that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying they're focusing on projects that are irrelevant to what the end goal is.
Okay. Yeah,
because they just have all these announcements. They have announcements for a bunch of characters that are just... And James Gunn, I won't lie, like he does the best when he has these random characters, and like he gets to kind of do whatever with them. Guardians, his version of the Suicide Squad, Creature Commandos is good, but if you want to build your universe, you have to include the heavy hitters as well, not just a bunch of these C tier, B tier characters that might be... Think of it like Superman. You have Guy Gardner and like Hawkgirl. Imagine just a bunch of shows of like the Justice Gang. Like that, it would be entertaining, but it's not building the universe.
Yeah. Like it'd be a bunch of Wondermans. Like it's not building the universe.
Exactly. Yeah.
So if they came out in 3 months and announced a Batman cast and it was perfect or really, really good, like how would you feel better? That's the core character of DC.
I need to see who's going to play Batman because I'm worried it's going to be Brandon Sklar. And
that's what I'm saying. Like, say it was like whoever your dream, even if you don't have somebody in mind. Like, say it's your dream cast for Batman, and they announced it. Like, does your attitude here change to like now you're pretty comfy with the future of DCU?
I think they need to get rid of Andy Muschietti and Christina Holder. They need a new director. But I get what you're saying. If the casting is great, I will be more okay with it. But you still need a good director and writer. If your script sucks and the direction is ass, the best actor is not going to be able to save it. You need a good script. Okay.
No, I'm with you. I agree.
Do you want to end it off with like a this or that real quick? Or?
Yeah, I mean I have some red pill, blue pills on some stuff. This is going back to Marvel, so this is not DC.
All right.
But we can go through that. So this is just red pill, blue pill on movies that do not exist. Maybe some of them were talked about in the past, but they do not exist. They're not in talks. They're just ideas. And red pill, blue pill, you're going to pick which side you'd rather have. And just think of these done in, like, their ideal form. So, like, if you think it's going to turn out shit, I mean, it is what it is, but, like, think that they're going to come out quality. So the first red pill is TASM 3, and this is going to be the Goblin Redemption, because they kind of hint at it in the end of 2. And then I'm going to give you Toby Spider-Man 4, but this is going to have Vulture as the villain.
I'll do Spider-Man 4.
And, no, that's the red pill. And then the blue pill is the blue pill is a Wolverine.
I see.
The blue pill is a peak Wolverine versus Hulk movie with Hugh Jackman and whoever you want as the Hulk, whether it's Ruffalo or...
So you get
TASM
3 and Spider-Man 4. I'd rather go back to those characters. I'll
Then
take.
do a-
I'll take. Yeah.
Okay.
I'd rather get a conclusion to those characters, especially TASM 3. Would I want it to be Goblin? No, but if Andrew gets another movie to maybe end it out or get more of his character, I think that would be beneficial. And then Toby to end it out needs it.
Okay.
So.
And I mean, I guess you would do it this way, but you would want, like, the 20-year time jump for Toby?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, with him and MJ, and then Mayday, maybe if they have the kid. I know a big rumor with Doom's or Spider-Man Brandon Day is that Sadie Sink might be Mayday Parker, aka Toby's daughter, so we'll see.
Okay.
But yeah, I'd want the time jump.
Alright. The next red pill and blue pill. So the red pill is you would get we'll call it like Cold War era Winter Soldier Hydra movie of him doing all his biggest hits, maybe even including the Howard Stark murder.
Okay.
And so you see Bucky in his most dangerous form versus a blue pill Magneto Origins movie in the MCU.
I think I'll take the Magneto just because Bucky, I already know Bucky did all that, and like it would be, I don't even want to say cool to see, but it would be like an interesting take, kind of like a villain story for him. But he already had his arc and he's redeemed himself. I feel like if you came out with that movie, you are going to give people a reason to turn on him again.
Okay.
As like
fair.
a bad guy, because it's a big dilemma with him is already like all the blood on his hands. If you're showing the blood and he probably killed people
Yeah,
in
it works against the fans.
terrible ways, I don't think it would be beneficial.
And it doesn't move the needle on anything. Like you said, it might
Yeah.
even go backwards. Magneto Origins creates a story.
Yeah, and it's something we haven't seen in the MCU yet, so.
Yeah. Alright, the last one here is a red pill, blue pill. The red pill is you get a Ghost Rider movie, but your Ghost Rider is Ryan Gosling.
Okay.
And then, because he's talked about wanting to play the character, so that's why I included him. And then you also get a Gambit solo film. So this can be like an origin story, it can be whatever, and you're getting Channing Tatum as Gambit. Or the blue pill, which is you're getting the Fantastic Four that we have today, but you're getting their origin story. So you're getting them getting their powers and seeing how that all developed. And you're also getting a Doctor Strange 3, but you're getting Nightmare as the villain. Who is like, you know who Nightmare is?
Yeah,
Okay.
You're good. I'm picking the Ghost Rider, even though the Gambit standalone movie, I'm happy Channing Tatum got his like spotlight in Deadpool and Wolverine, and he's going to be in Doomsday. A Gambit solo movie probably wouldn't move me as much, but Ghost Rider would, and especially Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
But F4, I don't need to see Origin already, and Doctor Strange 3, I don't really care for it, to be honest. The way Multiverse of Madness ended was pretty bad, so I'll take the Ghost Rider.
Okay, gotcha.
I would like him to reappear, and I would eventually like Doctor Strange 3, but I'm okay to hold off for now, so.
Okay, that's all I had for that. So that's good to know then.
Alright.
Alright.
Well, like Nick said, we're going to test out doing some shorter Saturday episodes like this one. Wednesdays are still going to be the main podcast every week, but Saturdays are going to be trying to be more current events or just maybe short games, stuff like that. So,
yeah,
big things ahead.
All right. Yep. Sounds good, guys. Thank you all for watching. We will see you guys in the next episode on Wednesday. Thank you.
All right.